What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to PlayStation Generation episode 29. My name's Matt, and I'll be your host for today's events. I'm joined, as always, by the love guru himself, Mr. Deniru Kun. What's up, Denny?
What's going on, man?
How you doing, man?
Living the dream.
Yeah, all things good?
All things are great.
And of course, joining us again this week, returning to the show, we have the man himself, Kofi. Dude, how are you? Thanks for coming back.
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It's we're excited to have you. We're going to be talking about a whole lot today. We're going to be talking about some Lego Horizons. We're going to be talking about some Spider-Man 2 and a whole bunch more. So stay strapped in for today's adventures. But before we do all that, of course, we have to kick the show off with a little bit about what we've been playing. And Kofi, if somebody doesn't know you, before we get into what we're playing, give us a little spiel about yourself. Where can people find you? What do you do on the internet? Let's hear a little bit about yourself.
I make videos about video games. So
Hell yeah.
I do enjoy doing that. I review games. I do a podcast every Thursday, but we pretty inconsistent, life be getting in the way. But I do a podcast every Thursday where we just talk about all current news. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I see that you got me tagged in the title, so you can find me there. So I appreciate that. Thank you for the link.
Of course.
Kofi Plays, yeah.
Go check him out. It's literally right in the link. I couldn't make it any more easy for you people to just go down there, sub. Really high quality vids, excellently produced, really well edited. So go check out Kofi's stuff. You can't miss it. But Kofi, before we get into Lego Horizons, I want to know what else has been keeping your time lately. What have you been playing?
Wow. Dragon Ball Z.
We're big fans here.
I'm a super big fan of Dragon Ball Z. And I've been playing Sparking Zero. I've been playing Sparking Zero pretty much nonstop. I put everything aside to play that game. And I'm having a blast. It's honestly a dream come true. It's literally the Dragon Ball Z game that I always wanted. We've been waiting for a sequel for the Tekken series for a very, very long time. And now that it's here, they 100% delivered on that. And pretty much almost done doing all the story with all the characters. And I've been, I already got over the 100 matches online and stuff like that, the trophy. So I'm just working on the platinum right now on the game. And yeah, it's absolutely incredible. From the animations, the roster, they nailed it. I have nothing but high praise for that game. It's one of the greatest Dragon Ball games I've ever played.
I have to completely agree with you. We're big fans here. We've been having a blast with it. It's so good. It feels like tailor-made for a fan. I grew up on the Bluesky series more so than the Tenkaichi series, and for me, it's just it's so nice to hop back in. I have to ask Kofi, who's your main? Who are you wrecking fools with? Because this is a hot debate online.
Right now, I would say my main is Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
My dude, come on.
Yes,
good answer.
And the fact that his ultimate is unblockable is the cherry on top. That's the thing I love about it. I know someone who's probably entering the game for the never played the series, but it's kind of nice how the game isn't kind of balanced. You know what I mean? It's kind of fun. It's like a little fun aspect to it where some characters are just super OP'd, because it's always a good time when you pick a character like Krillin or Chaozu and beat somebody picking Super Saiyan 4 Goku or something like that. It's always a good time, and I just like that aspect of the game, and it's just incredible. Like you said, they really made this game for the fans, even down to unique grabs for certain characters. They rip it straight out of the anime, and when I did that for the first time, my mind blew. I'm like, oh my god, I'm doing this unique grab that actually happened in the anime when I'm this matchup. So I was just super impressed with the game. They honestly killed it. I bought 3 copies of the game, 2 ultimate, 1 standard. I'm gonna buy all the seasons, everything that come out for this game. I'm supporting it. I love it.
The Super Saiyan 2 Team Gohan grab on Cell just never makes me happy. Every time I pull it off, I'm just you know what you did, and you know why this is happening this way. You know what you did.
Yep. Incredible.
It's so good. I'm happy to hear that you're enjoying it. Danny, my dude, what about you? What's been keeping you busy?
I pre-ordered the Sonic X Shadow Generations Digital Deluxe Edition, so I got to start playing it 3 days early.
Nice.
So I've been running through that, just been doing all the Shadow stuff because that's all that's new and exciting. Yeah, it's been fun so far. Different, but fun.
I need to ask this. So I reviewed Sonic X Shadow Generations. You can go catch my review over on butwilo.net. How do you feel about the hub world? Because I love the levels on the Shadow side. The hub world is one of the biggest pieces of garbage I've seen in a hub world for quite some time. It's like somebody just took spaghetti and threw it at the wall, and they're like, let's put stuff here.
Did you play Sonic Frontiers?
I did, and I love Sonic Frontiers.
Okay. I don't mind the hub. I can understand why it's annoying though, because literally when you said spaghetti, the first thing I thought is just all the rails that are everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of the hub world. I get what they were trying to do with it. I think they could have done that a little bit better.
Yeah. I think the level design is fantastic. Like revisiting some of those, like the space levels and stuff, and coming down to the city, like it's just flashbacks to growing up. I was a Sonic Adventure 2 kid for all the flack that got me. And I love that game. But it's a good game. It's fun for any Sonic fan. There's a lot there.
It's getting a lot of good reviews, and it just seems like it's on the up and up right now. Like everyone's just loving it.
Again, I think it's like Dragon Ball. It's just a game that was made for the fans. Like this feels this was made for people who grew up on a very specific version of Sonic, and they delivered on it, and it's it seems to be doing well.
That's great.
I definitely understand that. That's why, like, when it comes to games like this, I think reviews and all of that is 100% important. I think it'll be kind of crazy for me to say that it's not important while doing reviews at the same time. So I never really understood that. I do think that is important, but I think with certain genres, games like anime fighters and games that are very tailored for a specific audience that like will understand it, I think we gotta look at it at a little bit of a curve personally, because like for example, Spark and Zero, like it got a great Metacritic score. I think it's sitting somewhere between like an 85, 86, something like that, right? Around there. But for me, as someone who is super invested into the Dragon Ball Z anime and the franchise and knows all the characters, the game is gonna hit for me differently, way differently than somebody who's just, who just got a review copy of the game and kind of just playing it. He loosely knows the characters because the IP's massive, you know what I mean? But the connection to the game is just going to be way different between two players, you know what I mean? That's why I understand like with the Sonic fandom as well, even like when a game like that gets like even like a 78 on Metacritic, like the fandom is like super happy. Like it's like amazing for them, right? Because
oh my god,
because even if a game like that like does that means the super fans are gonna really enjoy it, if you get what I'm trying to say.
I think you're 100% right. I think it's like with so many people doing different forms of content, whether it's journalists, whether it's YouTube, whether it's anywhere, I think the most important thing in this day and age is finding the type of people that like what you like. So you know what I mean? So it's like you can trust what it is that they're telling you. Like for example, Kate, the site runner at But Why Though, a friend of mine, she loves the Venom movies. I know they're garbage. I love those garbage movies. They're just so ridiculous. So when the reviews hit and like I didn't give it like a 4, I messaged her. I was like, "How is it?" She's like, "If you like the first 2, you're gonna like this." I'm like, "That's all I needed to hear." I know I'm going in for garbage, but it's my garbage, and I want to revel in that garbage.
Exactly.
So yeah, I feel you. Well, I'm excited to hear what you think more about Sonic as you spend more time with it, Denny, because there's a lot to love there. There's a lot to love.
Oh yeah, for sure.
As for myself, I've been playing. We talked about Sonic. I'm playing through Romancing Saga 2. Whatever the subtitle is that I forgot. Reviewed it over on But Why Though as well. I went into this game with zero expectations. This year has been crazy for JRPGs. There's just been one after the other. And I know there's a lot of love for this one for like the OG fans that came up on this game on the SNES. I have no affiliation with the series. I've never played it. I really fell in love with this game. Like really fell in love with the game. It does something really interesting where you usually expect a JRPG to be character centric first. You know what I mean? Like you're expecting this ragtag group of characters going through a thing, eventually fighting God, kind of this grandiose story centered around this group of this cast of characters. Romancing Saga 2 does something really interesting where they go, screw all of that. The country that you're running as an emperor is more of the character. These characters will die. Out of nowhere, you'll finish something that's like 91 years later. Your entire party's dead because of time. And like you have to pick a new crew. They carry on a lot of the abilities, but like they do this really cool thing where like, for example, I had a quest where like there was an insurrection going on in a city. I was like, I'm gonna go do this other stuff first. I came back, time skipped 90 years later. The insurrection was over. Like the bad guys won and they were controlling the town because I didn't get there soon enough. So it does this a lot of really cool stuff with
That's
like choice. Yeah, it does a lot of cool stuff with like choice and like and what you want to do and the order that you choose to do stuff. It's really pretty as well. I think it's just a fantastic game that I think in a year filled with incredible games, it's going to be one that could be easily missed. But if you can spare the time, I'm really enjoying my time with it. And then the only other thing that I'll touch briefly on because it hit today, Like a Dragon Yakuza, the Prime Video series came out today. I've watched it. I finished it. I have a bunch of features over on But Why Though if you folks want to go check that out. It's a solid Yakuza show. It's not a great adaptation, in my opinion, because I think it doesn't understand the IP. Like, this feels like somebody made a Yakuza game and then threw the Yakuza characters into it. Excuse me, rather than making a Yakuza show. Like, they just kind of... Kiryu doesn't feel like Kiryu. A lot of the characters don't feel like them. They're making choices that don't feel in line with their characters. And I don't have a problem when series like spin out and do different things, but I still think the characters should feel like the characters in those moments. And they do a weird thing where they separate two characters, and it's like basically like if you like had season 1 of The Last of Us and Ellie and Joel spent the entire time separated. Like, it's that kind of thing where like these characters are so interconnected to each other's stories that separating them is weird. I know people who really liked it who don't know the franchise. I know people who do. For me, it's fine. If you have Prime and you want to go check it out, go check it out. It's not bad. But without further ado, Kofi, my dude, you played Lego Horizons. We're excited about it here. Tell me about your experience. What did you think? I want to know.
Yeah, so I got the opportunity to head over to PlayStation's Toronto headquarters, and I played pretty much over an hour of Lego Horizon. I'm somebody who I think the series does a lot of great things. I also think the series also lacks in certain areas where I would like to see improvement. When it comes to this spinoff, it was actually a breath of fresh air for me, honestly. I enjoyed it from what I played. I am hoping to see how like the gameplay kind of evolves, since I only played like chapter 1 of the game, so I still got questions there. But the game seems to be a very solid co-op experience, especially if you're playing with somebody who's not really familiar with games. I think it's a very easy game to pick up and play, as well as if you got like a young kid to play, like a son, daughter. Like, I think it's a good time for that. It got the Lego humor. If you played it like any sort of Lego game, you would understand that. It got the gags. It's pretty much from what I played, it's retelling the original story of Horizon Zero Dawn, pretty much Aloy's journey, and stuff like that. So it's nice. I had a couple of laughs throughout my playthrough, so I'm definitely want to play more. I definitely want to play more. If you guys have any questions that you want to know specifically about, then I could try and answer for you. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my session with the game, and I definitely want to check out more of it.
And make sure you guys go check out Kofi's full video. Literally, just follow that link over. It's incredibly well done. Yeah. I know that you said that you weren't the biggest fan of the Horizon games because of the characters. I'm the same way. Well, I think there's a lot of stuff that it does really well. I find a lot of the characters to be kind of just like white toast. Like they're there.
Yeah, they're just there. Yeah, that's the main issue with that franchise. It's really like I make like we all make jokes about it. Like, you know, especially the time and when the games come out. And, you know, it's launch right beside Breath of the Wild. So, you know, it gets a bad rap for that type of stuff too, because just the time and when the games come out, like there's like another major game that's critically acclaimed around there, and the whole award situation, no award, like it gets a bad rap for that. But honestly, the game does a lot of great things. Like when it comes like the visuals, I think the visuals are absolutely fantastic. Some of the best I've probably seen in gaming. I think the concept, I think the lore itself of the game is actually quite interesting. Like the lore is cool. You know what I mean? I just like the way that they deliver the story. I think they just haven't sold me on like just the cast of characters, and I think they just need more compelling moments to really drive that home. And I think if they're making a sequel for like the mainline games, they really gotta drive that home with the characters and make it more compelling. Like you said, they kind of just feel like they're there for me, you know, a little bit robotic, and you're just kind of playing through the motions a little bit, which has pretty solid gameplay. But the story could have used No, for a game that has like a heavy emphasis on narrative, the story could use a little bit more, like make you connect with the characters better.
And I think that like I don't think that the actual narrative is bad. I just don't really feel like the characters engage with the narrative. So it's like hard for me to care about what's happening if they don't feel like, you know, it's an end of the world scenario, and I feel like the characterization for a lot of these people is like, oh well, like we're gonna get there. It's gonna be over soon. So like in your video, and when you mentioned here as well that you feel like these are like more fun, at least takes on the characters, that really stood out to me.
Yeah. I 100% stand by that. It's just honestly seeing them in a different light, even though the game is meant to be obviously goofy, it's a Lego game, but seeing them in this light is actually quite interesting because I feel like even just the voice acting, the jokes, the gags, it's just more enjoyable. It's compelling to me, you know. It's way more compelling than how I feel like personally the characters are in the main game, even in a serious tone in way. They gotta figure that part out, but they're definitely a good time. Aloy is very funny. From the hour demo I played, there's a lot of funny gags. I don't want to spoil anything. I want you guys to enjoy it, so I won't give any examples. But it's there's the Lego humor is there. The Lego humor is there that we love.
I'm curious to know, how did they translate like the Horizon experience into Lego form? Because I feel like these games are always really good at taking like your baseline IP and then making them Lego while also still feeling like, you know, the original IP. How does it translate? Like, what are the fights like? Can you tell us a little bit about how that translates?
Okay, so it plays nothing like, you know, it plays nothing like a Horizon game. So that's we could start there. It plays absolutely nothing like it. Obviously it's the same IP, so we're gonna be fighting the same machines and stuff like that. But as for like the controls, even the perspective, right? It's kind of a top-down perspective. You don't control the camera angle or anything like that, right? You charge your bow and you shoot, and there's these power-ups that you get along your journey through a vendor through chest, and once you unlock like certain power-ups, certain enemies drop it after you defeat certain enemies. They drop like power-ups and stuff like that, and that's what kind of mixes up the gameplay and makes it unique. So for example, I don't know if you remember the announcement trailer for the game where there was like a hot dog guy.
Yeah,
like a hot dog. Yeah, so pretty much you could summon a they literally call him hot dog guy, and he starts like chucking bombs, random bombs. Like it's really goofy stuff, but it's fun. I like it. Like it's fun. It plays really different, and you could tell co-op is at the centerpiece of the entire experience. It's meant to be really played with someone. I think you would probably get the most enjoyment playing it with someone. Yeah,
makes sense.
I'm curious to know, because I feel like I had whiplash going from in one of those trailers where it's just like, okay, here's Horizon, it's Lego form, and then there's like a rave on a disco dance floor. I'm not sure if did you have any opportunity to deal with that side of the game, and how does it kind of mix in?
Okay, so pretty much their Mother's Heart is pretty much your base of like operations, like your base. And this game has, which I think is probably one of the cooler aspects of this video game, is that like it has base building aspects, right? So the way it goes is once you complete like a level, you get a golden brick, right? And once you once you have enough golden bricks, you could pretty much rebuild certain plots, like in Mother's Heart, right? And you could customize like the buildings, what's on the plot and stuff like that, right? So that's pretty much how the customization. So I'm assuming what we saw in the dance, in the trailer, in the announcement trailer, where like there was doing a rave and a dance, like someone probably unlocked like a plot where you can build like a dance floor or something like that. That's what I'm assuming. So it got like a little bit of base building aspect to it, which is pretty cool. I like that. I thought that was pretty interesting too.
Does it affect the gameplay, you know, like the levels at all, or is it just more like a build? Here's a build that you can build up and make it your own kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
From what I've played, it doesn't seem to affect like the levels, but there's a board that has community jobs, right?
Okay.
And I did one of them. There's a community job, and one of the community jobs that I did, which once you complete them, you get rewarded with the golden brick, right? Like which is kind of like your stuff you need for progression, right? To build more things at Mother's Heart. So one of the community jobs was eat at a feast, right? So I had to go to one of the plots that I unlocked, right? And build like a dinner table, a feast table, right?
Gotcha.
And once I
Okay.
sat there and I ate at the dinner table, there was a funny animation of Aloy eating it. It looked mad funny. She got up and like rubbed her belly. It was actually pretty cute. And I got a reward for obviously doing the community job. So
Mhm.
it seems to have a decent list of community tasks in the game that you can do, and you get rewards for them. So I think that's like how
Gotcha.
like the progression works. Like there's like another aspect of the game. So I'm assuming there's going to be a whole bunch of those type of situations where they might request for you to build certain things, and you get rewarded with like golden bricks and stuff like that.
Gotcha. So it almost has like its own quest line
Yeah,
type thing.
yeah, exactly. And I guess it's just for fun and make everyone's mother hearts look a little bit different. The game has a lot of customization options when it comes to even Aloy herself. And what's interesting that I didn't even mention in my video is it seems to not only be Horizon universe based. They had costumes from Lego City Undercover and stuff like that in the
Oh,
Horizon game
Interesting.
as well. And you can mix match as well. It's not just one uniform, but you can mix match from like top to bottom, which was really cool too.
That's pretty dope, Denny. I'm not sure if you had any Lego Horizon centric questions for Kofi.
I didn't. This is one of the games that is definitely not on my radar. I've
on your radar, yeah.
Yeah, I've had a very long history with Lego games. Well, going back to the Lego Batman games, so I've kind of been off of them for a bit.
Mhm.
But no, it's good to see they're doing something different. It's good to see that there is that quirkiness, that Lego fun is still there.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, all good on my end. No specific questions for me.
Yeah. What's interesting though, from at least the Lego games I played, I haven't played all of them, but I played a few of them. That this one does play extremely different, just straight off the perspective alone. Like I don't think I've played a Lego game in this style of perspective. So at least that's unique with this game.
Mhm.
And yeah, man, I need to play more. I walked away saying I want to check out more. I want to see how many gadgets are in the game, how many of these cool power-ups in the games. I kind of like this parody version of Horizon Zero Dawn too, like the jokes. But I just hope that the gameplay for someone like me who most likely my son is too young to play with me, and I'm not gonna ask my girl to play the game with me because she ain't gonna do it. So someone like me personally, like if my shoes is like I need something that's kind of engaging, you know what I mean? I need something that's engaging to keep my attention. And I'm not somebody who said like I don't want to play like kids style games. Like I'm not even like that. I think fun is fun. So I just want to see where it takes me. I want to see how the combat is. One thing I would say, if the combat is mostly just like I'm just shooting the arrow, then I could see it getting kind of dull. If it's I'm just holding square, shooting the arrow, scanning for the weak points, and just running around doing that. But the gadgets is what really mixes up the game, and I hope there's a lot of them. And also, I am very interested in the base building aspect and how deep that goes into how deep that goes. So I do want to play more. I do want to check it out.
Kofi, once you told me there was a hot dog guy, like I was sold. I'm in. Like that's all I need. If there's different men based around certain foods, like I'm there. Yeah,
and I don't think I mentioned this. Like, once again, like I played other Legos games before, but someone could correct me if I'm wrong. Every asset in this game is made out of Lego pieces, like everything. Like I remember playing Lego Undercover, this like the GTA version of Lego, and some assets are made out of Lego, but some are not. They're like regular asset. Every asset in the game is made out of Lego, down to the water. Like
that blew me away.
The water is literally Lego. The trees, the rope is Lego. Everything is Lego, which I was actually pretty impressed by that. That one surprised me.
It blew me away in your video. Like, folks, like go check, because the way that it like animates is so fluid, but so weird because it's still Lego.
Yeah, it's weird. It's Lego water.
Really cool to see.
Yeah. I'm like that caught my eye right away when I was playing the game. I'm like, it was every asset actually really made out of Lego. Like it's really cool. If you're even looking at the mountains, they all look like Lego pieces. Like everything. Nothing looks like they're mixing and matching the assets. So I thought that was very, very unique. I don't think I've personally tried a Lego game. I don't know if it exists out there, but I haven't played a Lego game where every piece was literally a Lego asset.
Yeah, usually like water is water, and they have
water is like
pieces sparkling off or whatever. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just around the corner. We're like 3 weeks out, so to keep it locked. We'll be talking more about it as we get closer. But let's roll into some news. And we're going to kick things off coming from the PlayStation blog, starting with Monster Hunter Wilds, coming from the PlayStation blog, written by Joseph Bustos. We get an adventurous announcement to make for those who are eagerly awaiting the release of Monster Hunter Wilds on February 28th. Kicking things off is an open beta test in October. For anybody who has PlayStation Plus, actually gets early access to the beta, kicking off on October 28th, which is on Monday, and it's going to run until Wednesday, October 30th. Anybody who's not PlayStation Plus can hop in on Thursday, which will then run until the following Monday. They released a new trailer, some new locations. There's a whole bunch going on here. I can't wait for this frigging game. I like Monster Hunter World, got me in good, and I really enjoyed Rise as well. So having an opportunity to hop in and check out the beta makes me really stoked. Denny, are you a Monster Hunter guy?
Not a devoted Monster Hunter guy. Like, I've played them; they're fun. I remember playing them. Like, I remember playing Monster Hunter Tri and a couple of them on the PSP.
Mm-hmm.
Good games, great fun. I haven't played Rise or World, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, hey, if it's an open beta, I'm open to try it. No pun intended. So yeah, no, I'll give it a shot. Hey, why not?
Kofi, what about you? Does Monster Hunter do anything for you?
This is a franchise that, oh my god, it looks so cool. I want to get into it so bad because it's just looks like something that I want. And I've tried multiple Monster Hunter games. There's just something about that gameplay that I gotta really just stick with it. Just the gameplay in that game is it's and y'all can say it's just a skill issue, but for me personally, like it's just a lot going on. I wish the game played like a Devil May Cry because it's just like you slash. Now I gotta stop, sharpen my weapon. But apparently, if you're good, like there's ways to make that stuff fast. But like I guess I just need more practice in the game. But yeah, I've tried multiple Monster Hunter games, a couple of them actually over the years. But just I've never actually played one to the very end. And I might need somebody to carry me throughout one of the games, or just show me the ropes or something, or show me the ropes and what I'm doing wrong. Usually I'm really a quick learner, but that franchise, I don't know why I can't get it. It's something that it's everything that I would like in the game too. Giant beast, hunter. That's something that I would love, but for some reason I just can't get into those games. Like too crazy. I don't know why.
It's dense, man. I remember trying the demo for Worlds, and I was like, I hate this shit. Forget it. Like I'm not playing this. And then when it actually came out and the reviews hit, I FOMO'd into it. And again, I started playing. And I was like, I wasted my money. And then a tip that I was given by somebody who had played a lot of these games were like, go into like the training area and experiment with every single weapon until you find one that you like, because there's so many of them. And the insect glaive, which is like a lance that you can actually use to like shoot yourself up in the air and you're flying all around doing all these cool moves, was the one that finally clicked with me. And from that point on, I fell in love. But until that point, I just couldn't resonate with it until I found the right weapon. So maybe I would recommend that to you. It's like spend some time, if you got it, to just run through all the weapons and see if one clicks. Because that's what finally won me over. Because otherwise, like I could not get into the series.
Yeah, I have a friend that absolutely loves this IP. Like he goes crazy for them. But one day, I do like the co-op aspect to this game, though. I do really like that co-op aspect to this. But one day I'm gonna check it out. So if they're doing open beta, I might give it a go. But people always tell me to start off with Worlds because that game is actually very like newcomer friendly,
Yep.
Versus like the older games.
Yeah, that was the one that finally got me. So that one might be the one. Let's roll into our next story coming from VGC, written by Andy Robinson. Sony and Amazon are apparently rebooting their God of War TV plans. Showrunners and writers have reportedly left the live action project. There's a lot going on with this. According to Deadline, showrunner Rafe Judkins and EPs Hawk Otsby and Mark Fergus have left the live-action project after completing multiple scripts for the first season. The studios are apparently looking to move in a different creative direction, though one source told Deadline the trio scripts were praised by both Sony and Prime, the publication said. This was announced back in 2022, and we haven't seen anything from it. I couldn't find the next article, but I saw it going around Reddit. They did announce a new showrunner, who I'm blanking on the name on, but people online seem really stoked about the guy who's taking over. I believe he did like For All Mankind, and he's done a bunch of like Battlestar Galactica. Like he's apparently really known for his writing and his directing, and this guy's stepping into both write and direct. So I'm kind of curious, Kofi, what do you think? What does a God of War show need to do to be good?
Be animated. 100% be animated.
Yeah, facts.
That's a good answer.
I think, to be honest, there's certain things I feel like don't really work live action. God of War. When I think of God of War, I think huge enemies. You know what I mean? I think stuff like that, and I don't know how it will translate live action. It's like watching like Dragon Ball Z in live action. Like, you know what I mean? Like that
that never happened.
Never happened.
Like
exist.
it never happened, right? like that, like some things just don't look right live action. And honestly, I feel like God of War might be one of the cases where live action might really not be it. So I think if it was actually an animated series, that would actually be way cooler. I think a lot of people, I see Sony's trying to make these they're trying to turn their IP into like shows and movies, but they got to pick right. Like franchises like that, I feel like they should go the cyberpunk like Edge Runners route. Like I think that would be incredible for God of War if we got like an animation. Like, why does it got to be live action? That's my personal like opinion. I think something like that needs to be animated, not live action.
I agree with you entirely. I'm just going to pull this up because I want to make sure I got his name right. Coming from Nelly Andriva from Deadline. Ronald D. Moore is the one who's the new showrunner. He did stuff. Where is his list? He's done stuff for Outlander. He's done stuff for Blood of My Blood, Star City. He's done a lot. Battlestar Galactica. So people are really, really excited about him being involved, and their hope goes up. But I agree with you. Like the Castlevania series is so good because it's animated and they go full board with it.
Another one
that like. I don't see, and even like Arcane is incredible, and I cannot wait for that next season. As somebody who does not care at all about about League of Legends, God of War, I just worry that if they don't go into it properly, it's just going to look cheap. And for a show like that like is so, I'm not really worried about the costumes, but like CGI, the backgrounds, if they're like so obviously standing in front of a green screen, and like if there aren't enough fights, you know what I mean? Like all of these things that are synonymous with the series. I don't know, Denny, where are you at on this?
Wow. I agree. I don't think it'll do well live action, because if it does, it's going to be a very sparse version of the God of War that we've played. I think animated makes it better because we all have, like, for example, I don't know about you guys, but like now we have a vision of what Kratos looks like. It's gonna be very hard to find someone who is either an actor and can play that role and look like him, or do they go with a lookalike and we get subpar acting? We have the risk of that as well.
Yep.
And then just like you said, like we're used to the fights, we're used to some very, very large set pieces. And to have that, like I don't know how big the budget is for this show, but I can't see you having multiple set pieces like that and intertwining them into, you know, an episodic formula without having to compromise somewhere. So I'm worried about where we're gonna compromise to try and get what we all expect a God of War TV show to be.
Would you guys rather, and I'm kind of curious both of your opinions on this, would you rather it be a movie if they had to do live action? Let's say they're committed to live action, animation is off the table, this isn't a conversation that they want to have. Would you be more interested in a movie?
I think would be better than a TV series. I think a movie would be better than a TV series. At least you know, the budget could be crazy. Like the thing is, I think when it comes to the shows and stuff like that, they probably got to divide the budgets, you know, accordingly, right? For how long how much episodes, right? So I feel like that would lead to some sort of inconsistency where one episode might be actually fantastic, that's where all the money went, and some other episodes might suffer. Where in a movie where like you can, you know, it's more focused, 2 hours tops, right? And you can really tell a nice concise story that way. So if they had to do live action for anything God of War, I think the movie route, I'd rather have that than a series, a live action series, in my personal opinion. Like a live action series works for a IP like Uncharted. That would work because it's very grounded, right? It works for The Last of Us because, you know, doing zombies is or what's called infected is not crazy. Like you can do the makeup for that, and you could shoot cool stuff. But stuff that is like with mythical creatures, gods, titans, like stuff like that, I feel like can it be done? We've seen movies with if it can, but those movies, you know, I'm sure they cost a lot to make it look good, right? So I don't know. I just think animated for God of War. I know there was talks about Horizon also having some sort of like show, and I think that was supposed to be live action as well too. And I didn't understand that. I don't know how they're gonna do that in live.
Both on Prime.
My brain can't even fathom how that would look in a live action. To be honest, I might just look crazy. So IPs like that, animated Sony, you guys don't be scared to do animated. Animated is great.
Especially because like both of those properties are so heavily reliant on CGI in terms of God of War and Horizon, and like they have incredible success with the Spider-Verse movies. Like, could you imagine any one of those IPs translating to that type of animation? They have an incredibly successful franchise that people are waiting with bated breath for the next movie. That that they could build off of if they really wanted to. But Denny, what do you think?
I agree. I think it needs to be a movie. I think if you're gonna do a TV show, do it animated. I don't know why this clicked into my head and why I was just chuckling a minute ago, but and I'm gonna date myself here. Do you guys remember the Hercules TV show, that live action Hercules show from like the 90s?
No,
I do not.
Okay, I'm dating myself here then.
I'm gonna have to Google it.
I think it came on after around the same time as like Xena Warrior Princess.
I don't think I've ever. I remember the cartoon.
The 90s. Is it movie? Is it a movie or
no? It's a TV show, like mid to late 90s. It was like Hercules, the legendary
journeys.
Yeah, that one.
This looks somewhat familiar. I don't know if I've ever like sat down to watch an episode, but there's something about the main character and the set design that is giving me Xena and around that day. I think I've seen it. I don't think I've watched it.
I think they've had a crossover episode. I didn't watch it heavily as a child either because I was like 10 when this show was around. But I don't know why my mind went to that, and I'm just like, if they try to do God of War and it's a live action show and they have a cheap ass budget because they're just trying to get the hype off the name, and it turns into something like this, because this show had no CGI and this was like Greek mythology, right? So I'm just like, oh, just go. I think the movie route would be better, and it also gives you more time. I think movies obviously have a little bit more time. I don't know. To kind of really get it all put together well.
At this point, just go the Power Rangers route. Just go ridiculous. Just go all out with
splicing it, footage from the game.
Exactly. Go in the opposite direction and just commit to the campiness of it, and then maybe we'll have something that's watchable. But we'll see. Man.
The CGI in that movie was bad too.
Yeah. Well. Let's ride on to our next story, coming once again from VGC, written by Chris Scullion. Ubisoft has reportedly disbanded the Prince of Persia Lost Crown team. It claimed the low sales meant a sequel wasn't on the cards. YouTuber Gato, part of the French YouTube channel Origami, reported the news on Tuesday, citing sources including multiple developers from Ubisoft Montpellier. And Ubisoft has now gone on to confirm it. It's at the end of its post-launch roadmap with 3 first free content and 1 DLC that was released in September. They're now focused on making it more a bit readily available across Steam and Mac. And then the team workers are being shifted to other projects. I think this really sucks because the Lost Crown is really cool. I'm glad that it seems like the developers haven't lost their jobs, but that team is no more. And I think that's really unfortunate given how cool that game is. Kofi, where are you at on this?
It just seems it's just another example where it seems like the gaming industry is a really cold business. You know what I mean? You drop something bad, you lose your job. You drop something good, you lose your job. At this point, you know what I mean? But I guess it's part of the game. In entertainment, it's tough, right? The sales, I guess, didn't meet their expectations, so they have to cut it. And it also brings up the questions. A lot of gamers request for certain games to return and come back. And you would think these voices are so loud on the internet, right? They're extremely loud, but I think this is another case where I guess just not enough people showed up. We made a franchise that you guys want, but not enough people showed up. It got the reviews, right? The quality is there, but once again, not enough people showed up for them to be or at least create a sequel. So it's an unfortunate situation that the team got disbanded. But like you said, at least they're getting kind of merged back into creating something else instead of losing their job. So
yeah, I think it's complicated because I feel like making it a Metroidvania, while I think it was the right call for the game, I think we've had so many Metroidvanias over the last few years. Like it's kind of seemed to be a genre that's really risen up. I would even say so, like since Dead Cells dropped. Like I feel like we've had so many, let alone Ubisoft dropping 2 side-scrolling Prince of Persias within a few months of each other. Like was also just an interesting choice. Yeah, one was a roguelike and one was a Metroidvania, but like 2 very stylistically similar things. It just seems like one of those things where we're talking, earlier this episode about games coming out that are for the fans and then, being incredibly successful. DBZ selling 3 million copies in a day, just insane.
Yeah.
I just feel like people didn't want to give this a chance because of what it was, and I think that's unfortunate. But everybody's got their own tastes. Let's hit one more story before we close out with Spider-Man. Because PlayStation Stars is still a thing that exists. Coming from Jordan Midler, PlayStation Stars will no longer give credit for money spent on subscriptions. Points will now only last for just over a year. So PlayStation Stars got an update. We knew this update was coming. There are parts of this story that are not new, but perhaps people have forgotten about. Them making it so that any money that you spend on subscriptions, such as PS Plus and EA Play, you don't get the Stars level anymore. That they announced months ago. Again, not surprising. It is what it is. They're doing their stuff. That's fine. The points expiring over a year, again, I understand. Like, it kind of sucks, but again, they made this new. What I don't like, and I don't see it in this article, but I logged on yesterday morning because I'm like, maybe I'm going to buy Silent Hill 2. I know it's not really a game for me, but like I'm seeing it, I'm hearing the reviews. Maybe I'm going to buy it. Let me hop over to PlayStation Stars. I think I have enough for like $50 or something with the PlayStation Store credit that they allowed you to buy.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, dope. Like I can spend the rest of the money. Like let me. I got distracted with the baby. Logged back in yesterday evening. It was gone.
Really?
They have entirely removed the ability to purchase like store credit with your points now. So now and seemingly raise the prices on a bunch of the games that were there. So like Dave the Diver is there, and it costs like 5,000 gold. And there's a bunch of stuff like that. There's much more game options to choose from, but the ability to like buy to like get yourself $5 or $10 or $25 or whatever it was that is gone. They just removed it without talking about it. And I think PlayStation Stars has been this really weird service that feels like what PlayStation's plan was for NFTs, and they just didn't call it that after NFTs went south. For me, it was kind of like, yeah, it's there, but at least I can use it to get credit from towards the store, and I can use that to buy what I want if the game that I want isn't there. And I just think it really sucks for them to take it away without any communication, without even recognizing that it's not there anymore. So yeah, I just wanted to, Kofi, what are your thoughts on PlayStation Stars? I'm curious where you're at on this.
I only signed up for PlayStation Stars this year, I think, and I'm looking at the app right now. So there were other options, right? For more than stores, right? I only see $15 right now for like I can use like 3,750 points for $15 credit. Yeah, so you're saying there were other options, right? I do recall seeing.
Did they bring it back? Hold on, because when
it's 15, it's $15 for me. That's what I see. Wallet funds, it says $15 that I can redeem.
That's weird because I can't see that. Like when I go to the PlayStation Store rewards on PlayStation Stars, there's a number of games. There's like 500 for Diablo, 1,000 for Diablo. There's a bunch of games. Worms Armageddon, Pal World. There's a bunch here. 250,000 Grand Charisma credits, Call of Duty credits. But there's no PlayStation Store
wallet funds. That's interesting because I got mine over here. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. My thing's kind of blurred, but I got like a little wallet credit right here. You see that?
Oh yeah, he does.
Where is that?
I just scrolled down to the very bottom on rewards, and I got mine. What? Well, I don't know. Does it have to do with your level or something like that? I'm only at level 4. I'm assuming you're at level 4.
I'm level 4. I'm level 4 as well. That's like the max.
That's
that's
max,
weird
right?
that you have it. That's so strange.
You better claim that now.
So this is the possibilities. Is either that they're removing it, or it could be a glitch.
Maybe it's
unaddressed. It's a glitch.
Maybe it's a glitch with the because the PlayStation Stars just rolled over today. So for anybody who hasn't, like, you have to log back into PlayStation Stars on the app to be able to like continue to be enrolled in it because of the new changes. So you have to go in and do that. Yeah, maybe it was an error.
Maybe there's
like,
something going on because it wasn't like PlayStation Stars like even down for like a
a
week
month,
or two.
a month,
Like
bro.
it was a while. It was a
Yeah.
while. Yeah, like it was just gone. So I don't know, if it's just a glitch in the system. And I always thought that the service was like, I understand what PlayStation's trying to do. I think there's some cool stuff here, but the only thing I didn't really like about PlayStation Star is how there was like no console integration. I feel like that was like the weakest thing about it. Like you have all these cool whatever you call it, NFTs or knickknacks like you do with the points, but wouldn't it be cool if you could like display this actually on the console itself? Right? Like I felt like this effort was a little bit not as planned as great by PlayStation. I think there's obviously they're trying to do something for the fans and reward them for the purchase that you make, which it was always a good thing, but I think it needs some work to be done, like to get it up to snuff, and it definitely needs some console integration.
Denny, do you see wallet funds on your app?
I don't. I have been going through right now. All I've got is like DLC and
virtual. Kofi's the chosen one.
Can I send you my points?
Yeah,
dollars, please.
Just get it for you.
I really don't want Diablo money or
Call
the Lego Harry Potter collection.
Ooh. Yeah, I think it's a service that needs work. I hope you're right, Kofi. I hope it's like a glitch, maybe something hung up with this new integration as stars have changed over. But
at this point, or it might even disappear from me today. Maybe I should use it. Now you guys
just claim it. Just claim it now.
I should just claim it, right? Yeah. There's no harm in stacking it, right?
And like that's what I'm seeing. I've seen a lot of people online say the same thing, that it's just gone from their PlayStation Store. So I mean, if you still have it, then I'm very happy for you.
I'm not. I'm jealous.
So you're saying, but real quick, you were saying there were others, right? They were like,
so there was like
$15.
I think it was like a $5, a $10, and a $20 or $25. I think there was like 2 or 3 different levels that you can use.
I feel like there was
that. Like I can't remember exact. Like I can't remember the exact denomination, but I know there was at least 2 or 3 levels of like, here's like $5, here's $10, here's $20. Maybe it was 15.
Okay.
But there was 3 levels that you could use that cost varying amounts of points, coins to be able to like get some.
It seems like today
back.
Reduced it to 1, at least on my end. For y'all get nothing.
They're like, you guys don't even get $5 anymore. Kofi gets 15. No, everybody else gets nothing. It's weird. It's weird. I hope that it's just a glitch. I hope that's the case.
Glitch. Yeah.
Let's hit one last story, and then we'll head over to the questions coming from the PlayStation blog, written by Aaron Jason Espinosa. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 arrives on PC January 2025. Coming from, I believe they confirmed that it's Nix's. It's Nix's, so this thing should be good. I'm hoping it runs on Steam Deck, hitting January 30th, 2025 on Steam and Epic Games. That's cool. Buried in this, which the internet has kind of taken and ran with it, was basically the confirmation. I can't see it here, but it was confirmed that there is no DLC for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
nothing planned, and the internet is in an uproar. Personally, I remember when the Spider-Man DLC came out and nobody liked it. Like I remember so many people were like, "This thing sucks." I loved it. I love Black Cat. I liked a lot of what they did with it. I understand that it wasn't what everybody wanted. I really liked the DLC. So for Spider-Man 2 to come out, people not like it, and I get that there's reasons not to enjoy Spider-Man 2, and that's fine. If you don't like the third act, I think it's rushed, that's fine. If you don't like what they do with Venom, that's fine. But now that people are like, this game is garbage, it's one of the worst PlayStation first-party games, it's one of the worst games on PS5. How could they not give us DLC? When it's just like steep. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they gave us DLC and nobody liked it, and then they would have been crapping on the game anyway, and now because they're not getting it, I don't know, Kofi, where are you at on all this? Because I feel like the takes have been wild. I feel like just let them cook.
It's craziness. I even posted about this on the timeline the other day. I feel like the internet right now, for these style of gamers, they're always on a cycle. Like first the game is revealed, hype. We can't wait to play it. The game comes out, we love it. 2 months down the line, the game is mid. This game wasn't that good. It sucks. 3 years later, low key, this game was underrated. Like this game was pretty good. Like, it's literally, and it's just like a cycle that just repeats. If you've noticed, that's happened with quite a few games. Now that it's gone through this kind of cycle. Super hype comes out, people love it. couple of weeks, months down the line, it sucks, it's mid, it's trash. Then a year or two later, you know what? That game was underrated. Like that game was pretty good. So I think Spider-Man's going through the cycle, and it's year one, and I'm already starting to see people already saying, you know what, this game is really overhated, like for no reason. I'm already seeing like the shift of people already starting to come around, like this game is like overhated, and it got mad likes and retweets. I'm like, oh my god, yo, I don't know. But as for it not having any sort of content, it is a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little disappointing. Only because I felt like that was my criticism of Spider-Man 2 is that its post game is just kind of lacking. Like once after you beat the game, you get the platinum, you played it. It's just like I wish it had like even like a simple arena mode. Like I don't know if you guys have played Sifu, right?
Oh yeah,
that post game content that they added was incredible. Just something just to for you to jump in and just have fun with the mechanics, whether it's just beat them up. I feel like they could have done something like that to seal the deal, at least with the game, and let people have fun with it. Like at this point, like all we can really do is just keep replaying the game. We just want to re-experience it or anything like that. Like doing the city crime stuff get boring after a while. Like you do, like they're repetitive, right? So if it had some sort of challenge mode, right, where you can like an arena mode where there's like fun little tasks where you could fight this group of people or you could fight that. I think, just keep the longevity of the game going on a little bit longer. I think that's like my only real criticism for Spider-Man 2. As for that, I think they nailed everything. I think it's probably one of the best Spider-Man games I played. The web swinging is incredible. The gliding, incredible. The story, I can understand people saying the Venom act was a little bit too short. Like if that's your criticism, I'm not even mad at that. People wanted a little bit more Venom, and I guess from the marketing that they seen there, like we thought we would have to be dealing with Venom a little bit longer. So if that's your criticism, Spider-Man 2, I'm not even mad at that because I somewhat agree with that. But overall, I enjoyed the story. I thought the story was a good time. I thought Spider-Man 2 was fantastic. It's definitely one of the best Spider-Man 2 games I've played. But listen, the silver lining is this. Look, for me, I'm hoping that means that we're getting the stopgap game, like the middle game, like the Miles Morales. If that's the case, that we're not getting DLC, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Like if that's the reason why, I'm 100% fine of this game not getting DLC. If we're getting that quote unquote, rumored Venom game, we're getting maybe a middle game, right? If we're not getting nothing, then it kind of sucks. I wish they did a little bit something more just to, give us a reason to come back and play. At this point, my only reason to jump back into Spider-Man 2 is maybe when the game releases on PC, right? And I can enjoy it on the PC platform, ultra wide support, and all that cool stuff, So, that's probably the next time I'm gonna play Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I'm with you. And like again, there are legit criticisms against Spider-Man 2. I just think that like the whiplash reaction to saying it's one of the worst games ever, that this game is garbage.
It's just like it's not true. You can look at it from a technical aspect. It's not true. Even just for like it's just a bad take. Everyone's allowed to, but it's a terrible take. There's nothing really like you put it beside a lot of the Spider-Man games we've played over the years. It's not even close. It's easily one of the best Spider-Man games that's actually exist from a technical level, from even just the web swinging. It's incredible. But yeah, there's some issues in the story you can make arguments for 100%. If it didn't connect or resonate, I can't really argue that. That's subjective. So it is what it is.
Yeah, Denny, where are you at on this? Did you play Spider-Man 2?
Oh yeah, I played it. I bought it launch.
Hell yeah.
Played it. It stayed in my PS5 until I finished the story. Honestly, about this, I'm not mad. I'm okay with there not being DLC. I am one who doesn't normally dive into DLC a lot. When I buy a game, I play it, I finish it, sits on my shelf, on to the next one. But I'm okay with this because we had that leak a couple months ago, about all the stuff that's supposed to be coming down the pipeline from Insomniac, right? So we're definitely getting a lot of Marvel content from them. And if they're not working on DLC, to me, that means they're working on the Wolverine game, Spider-Man 3, right? The Venom game, as you mentioned earlier. So we're going to be getting a lot of Marvel from them. And so if we're not going to revisit Spider-Man 2, I'm okay with that. I'm excited to, visit and see what they do with Wolverine. I'm excited to see how they finish the story with Spider-Man 3, or continue the story, I should say. I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it. Them not having DLC, for me, I would just read into that and say that I think this means we're going to get a new experience sooner rather than later. because they're able to
that's
shift
a
focus
good way to look at it.
that.
I'm not mad at that. That's a really good way to look at it.
Yeah, I'm with you both. Like if it's Venom, if it's Wolverine, whatever it is, like I'm ready for more. I will say I do wish that, like, you know, me coming back to Astrobot every week now with these challenge levels, I wish we got something similar in Spider-Man 2, because like Kofi, you were saying, the combat
Like
is so tight,
arena
the
mode.
web sweating is so tight. Like even if they had like race across the city
Little
stuff,
little challenge
I mean?
stuff, like,
Like,
little baby stuff. Like it don't have
yeah.
to be nothing crazy, just like little
Yeah.
content drip. And I think that's where we are, like in 2024. Like it seems like games need to have a little bit more legs in them. Like I'm okay with a complete experience, and when you're done, you're done. And I guess years later, if you wanted to revisit it, you just play it again. Like that's cool and all, but just something about that game specifically, I don't know. I just felt like the mechanics were just so damn good that it deserved that you have to stay in there and play a little bit longer. Like they should have done something with it. Like it's just so good. That's why like we need to if they did a little cool stuff like that, it would have been nice. It would have been nice.
Yeah, like it's so much fun, like using Astrobot, and like the way that they, again, like you don't have the New York was big enough that they could play with it in different ways and like use the assets and use the things you already have and just, you know, drop in a little bit more, like throw in some leaderboards, throw in some you know, get across the city, beat enough bad guys, do this, that, or the other. And I think like you would have had people coming through.
Yeah, stay there a little longer, you know, stay in the game a little longer before moving on, right?
But yeah, I mean, like whatever Insomniac's doing next, I have no doubt that it's gonna be great. Let's round out the show with a couple questions coming from Sumit Roy at Black Wyver. He asked about, are you guys disappointed that there's not going to be Spidey 2 DLC? And do you reckon this standalone smaller game like Miles Morales is better? We just touched on that. We're ready for whatever's next. And the second question was not hot sauce question. No, not hot sauce, but could be related. What is your fave snack while gaming and why? Kofi, what's your go-to snack while gaming?
Oh, go-to snack. See, I'm somebody who don't like to get my controller clean, like dirty. You know what I mean? I don't like it. So I try my best not to snack, but I'll tell you, I am a juice guy, even though it's not good. I'm a juice guy. I'll have a whole glass of orange juice, something, and some Tropicana or something in there that I'll be sipping on some juice while gaming. That's what pretty much I do. I don't really like eating too much snacks just because it's just messy, you know, get it on your controller and I don't want to deal with that. Yeah.
The first time I saw someone using like chopsticks to eat like Cheetos while they were playing something, like blew my mind. I was like, "What do you mean?
That's actually a great idea.
Like, what do you mean you can do
That's how you do it.
Yeah,
IQ 300, right?
You gotta fold the insides of the bag so it sits on your coffee table as a bowl, and then you just use the chopsticks.
My camera just died out entirely, so I don't know what's happening there. But Denny, we're almost at the end anyway. What's your go-to snack?
So I also have stopped snacking while playing because my only white controller has always been my PS5, my PS5 controller that came with my system, and now there's like Skittle marks on it. You know, you're playing, you get a little sweaty, you go for a handful of Skittles, you pop them, and then you go back, and all of a sudden it's like, why is half my controller blue? It's Skittles. It is still Skittles, but not as much now. But I need a good cold fizzy drink to sit there and play. I just focus and sip on that while I'm in a session.
I feel I'm the same way. I can't, like, growing up it was like the Doritos and all this stuff, but like I can't do that anymore, especially because my problem is that like I completely lose focus on the game and don't realize how much I'm eating, and then I just eat way too much, and then I'll stop playing like an hour later and it's like, holy crap, I feel awful.
Where did that bag of Doritos go?
Yeah. But like for me, it's like, you know, a beer, just sitting down with a beer after a long day in a video game and just being like, I'm just going to have a couple of beers and I'm going to play a game. It just feels
nice drink,
real good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just to loosen up. And
what I've been killing lately, I've been killing a lot of booster juice lately. I've been killing
nice.
I'm like getting me a booster juice and a little pirate nectar and just play some video games. That's what I like.
Yeah, that's good.
Hell yeah. And our final question coming from Bobby, is breakfast acceptable as dinner?
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Right? Like,
of course.
Who doesn't like Brinner?
Little afternoon pancakes. You know what I mean? That ain't too bad.
What's wrong with like some dinner sausage wrapped in bacon?
Dude,
delicious.
Like waffles and dinner and pancakes for dinner with some scrambled eggs on the side. You can't go wrong with Brinner. Brinner is 100% fine.
Isn't like chicken and waffles a thing? Because like I've gone to restaurants and had chicken and waffles for dinner. Like you're having breakfast for dinner at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's 100% acceptable. There's no other take that will be allowed on this podcast. That brings us to the end of the show, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Kofi, it was a pleasure hanging out with you again. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Where can people find you?
Thank you for having me once again. If you search up Kofi Plays, you'll find my channel, and yeah, hopefully you like what you see and you stick around. You know, we got some videos coming out soon, so I'm sure you guys will enjoy it.
I've already subscribed.
Hell yeah, go check out Kofi. Kofi, you're always welcome back. We hope you'll come and rock with us again in the future.
Yeah, no problem. Definitely. Let me know. I'll let you know when I'm available, and I'll definitely pop by when I can.
Hell yeah. Denny, my dude, where can people find you?
They find me everywhere. Instagram, YouTube. What was the other one? Twitter. If you go to my Linktree, you'll find me there. So Linktree/Danurukan Gaming. You can find all my spots there.
Go find Denny in all the spots. Of course, you can find me over on Twitter at Matt_SilverSoul, at Bluesky at MattSilverSoul, and you can find my bylines over at Console Creatures and butwhythough.net. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back next week. Stay safe. We'll see you then. Peace.
Take care.
Peace.